Alright, the scene setup. When you download the .blend from open-class.org, you'll see these elements: the 3 reflection planes, or these white planes, the glass object or the jar, the cube, the floor, 2 lights, the type point, and of course a camera. So what we will be doing is describing the parameters for the glass material, the light setup, and shading, and etc, etc. Alright, now we will be describing how to set up the material for the glass. Create a new slot and a material ID using these 2 plus signs. Surface, preview mode to this says sphere, white, keep it white, choose orient layer, and clock door. Okay, now these specifies the colors of the specularity and diffuse. Intensity, let's give it full. Here the same. Now roughness, okay, hardness specifies the area that gets affected by diffuse, like that. Okay, so the brightness should not cover all the glass, just specific areas, so we set the hardness to a high level, like 50. Okay, 55. Okay, 55. We omit emit and these stuff, just keep them like they are. Okay, the most essential 2 options are transparency and mirror, so we click these 2 check marks and enable them. Make sure you select ray trace and set the index of refraction to 1.5. So what is the index of refraction? It's a factor that describes the behavior of these distortions. Okay, so each material has its own IOR. For plastic and glass and air, each one has its own IOR. Okay, we set Fresnel to 5. So okay, let's see what Fresnel does. It's something like that. Transparency was something similar to that. Alright, we can increase or okay, I prefer 5 because it's completely transparent here. As you can see here, the color is different, and we'll be describing that later for sure. Okay, set the depth to 4 and reflectivity to 0.1 for mirror. We can increase that like 0.2, let's say, and we render. Alright, this is what we get. So we can decrease the reflectivity to 0.1. What will that do? It will decrease the intensity of these reflections. As this is reflective, they get projected there. So let's try 0.1. Alright, as you can see, the sheets has less opacity, and also the environment are getting less reflected, which is more suitable for our case, for this case. Alright, this is more glassy-ish and this is more plastic-ish. For filter, we can use filter something like that to and select a color. So let's see how this is going to affect the. Alright, I'm going to alter the object a little. And see. Okay, alright. So render once more in another slot. Let's say slot 3. As we can see, this is the result. It displays a color for the glass material. You can decrease the filter parameter a bit for other tests. Alright, now this concludes the glass material. We will be discussing the other parameters in the thread at open-class.org, and alright, so let's describe the sheet material. It's very simple. The light you want to be reflected and specular. The image should be 1 or very high. Okay, you can tell it not to project shadows or not receive shadows, etc, etc. But these two parameters are the most important. Density 1, color white, emit full or 1 or high number. Okay, this concludes the scene materials description. Don't forget to alter the parameters a bit to have another results. Alright, now lighting. We have two lamps, the first one and the second one. They contribute on these shadows, first direction as you can see, and that direction. So both of them are point lights. The intensity of the far one is less than the intensity or the energy of the near one. Both have ray shadow and adaptive QMC. So the most two important parameters here are source size and samples. So what source size does and what samples does? Source size here is 0.1, but here it is 1.8, which is more convincing in this specific scene. The number of samples in a point light eliminates the noise in shadows, so you can try 7, 8, 15 samples to eliminate the noise, but it takes more time for sure. We can create other light sources by duplicating this one, Shift D, and see the results. Alright, this concludes the light settings we're using in this scene. Alright, now the post-processing. This is the nodes compositor. As you can see, render layer to clear to RGB curves. We check backdrop and create a viewer node. For me, I've altered the blue color a little, maybe less green. No. Alright, there are various results you can have. So this is the way I have post-processed the image. Let's create another viewer node, but connected to